Upon their arrival at the port of Campeche, the English merchants of precious woods drank in the taverns wines and unmixed liquors called dracs of rum or other alcohol, and stirred them with a metal spoon or a toothpick. On one occasion, the bartender used thin, smooth roots of a plant that they called cocktail, in English, cock's tail. And from now on, they would ask no longer for dracs, but cocktails. And that's how the use of the term cocktail for a drink was invented in Campeche. Throughout Mexico, the term Campechano is used to describe a food fusion, so a mixture of different things to create a dish. And that's because this is a typical food choice in Campeche. Here's a good example of a traditional Campeche dish. So Alejandra, this is charritos.
Charritos.
So what you have to do here is take a chip, take ham.
Put everything in your mouth.
It's pretty good. I also got a michelada here.
Michelada. It's michelada. Called michelada. It's like a famous drink in, yeah.
So, of course with the Corona. It has to be with the Mexican beer. And michelada, I've discovered, is just salt and spices, but it's pretty good. And you will have your salt for the day. Check that off. In addition to having fusion food, Campeche also has a fusion of the different cuisines from throughout Mexico. Here's some examples. ¿Es animales aquí?
Sí,
Sí?
sí,
Ah, ok.
sí, son estos son los del mundo acá, es esto. Es Dorper, Catalín y Perigüey, son los que hay acá.
Ah, ok. ¿Tabaco es aquí?
Sí.
Ah, ok, ok. Bueno. Barbacoa is a traditional way of preparing meat so that it is very tender when consumed, and usually pretty greasy as well. In this family-owned restaurant, they were using that technique to cook goat, and it was very good, very tender, came in a nice kind of soup, and of course served with tortillas to make tacos, which is a very typical Mexican way of eating your food, no matter what it is. Unless you're eating tortas, which is basically a Mexican sandwich, which usually focuses around meat as the center point. So given that fishing is a pretty big industry in Campeche, it also plays a big part in the cuisine. So there's a lot of seafood restaurants in Campeche where you can get ceviches and fillets of fish. But if you were to pick a meal that's specific and kind of a signature dish for Campeche, that would be the Pan de Cazon, which is like a lasagna, but where the key ingredient is dogfish, which is a small shark. Cazon?
Cazon.
So the total cost without tip of the dish was 115 pesos, which is about $6 US. That meal was actually on the lower end price-wise of the dishes there. They go up to 200 and beyond. And yeah, now for the review. Now I have to caution that I'm not the biggest seafood connoisseur. It's usually not my choice when I go to a restaurant. More of a chicken or beef guy, but I do eat seafood sometimes. And certainly my first time, I think, eating dogfish or any type of shark. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely filling. There was 4 kind of like thick tortilla patties there that had a layer of refried beans, then a layer of the dogfish, the cazon, with some extra pieces of like tomato and onions and other seasoning. And yeah, it was pretty good. The sauce was like tomato, maybe mixed with like sweet potato or carrot or something. Bit salty, but it was good. As far as the cazon, the dogfish, I mean, it tasted like fish. If you would have told me that it was tuna, I probably wouldn't have blinked. But again, I'm no connoisseur in that department, but I did think it was pretty good. And yeah, as far as food goes in Campeche, definitely not disappointed. The term Campechano definitely applies. You can find pretty much any type of Mexican food and beyond. And things are not too expensive in Campeche, as it's not really a tourist draw. So for a meal, if you're looking at the kind of more casual places or like the market, a meal is usually 80 pesos, so $4. And then if you go to a restaurant, you're looking at like $5 to $10 for a meal, depending on how you want, what you want, and how fancy the place is. The more fancier places being in the historic center, which has the kind of preserved or rebuilt colonial buildings.
And if you're a Canadian or American feeling a little bit homesick, you'll be glad to find that there are quite a few American fast food chains as well. Which I was surprised to find out that the majority of the meals offered in these American fast food restaurants in Campeche were actually about half the price of what you would normally pay in the Canada or the US. For instance, I downloaded the Burger King app and was able to get a virtual coupon for a Whopper meal for $3.50.
So I've been in Campeche for 3 months now. And I've made quite a few videos of my time in the city and some of these surrounding attractions, like ruins and stuff. And I'll be putting a link in the description for the video playlist where you can check out those videos. That playlist is of all the videos that I've made going through eastern Mexico. So before Campeche I was in Veracruz, and next I'm going to Mérida in the Yucatan. I was also in Mexico 3 years ago as part of a larger trip bicycling through central and western Mexico, and that was part of a larger trip bicycling through Latin America. I've also bicycled through Eastern Africa and Eastern Europe, including the Balkans and Turkey. And if you'd like to see the videos from those countries, I have playlists for each countries. They're all available on this same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. And if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do, I have that available over on my website, followthehumoftheearth.com, where you can click on the different locations and see the various blog posts and videos that I've made of those places. If you'd like to follow my continuing adventures through eastern Mexico or southern Mexico and the peninsula and beyond, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button below the video and by clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Click the like button if you did, and have a good one.